Hi, hi. We might have a couple more people filter in, but we'll see. Are we going to start off supported? Oh, here's somebody else. You'll need either a chair or a wall to start off with. I think that might be everybody who's actually coming. Let's get started then. Okay, so chair. Make sure it's not going to go anywhere if you're leaning on it, or wall. That's what you need to start off with. So I'm going to go with a chair because my wall makes me too far away from your wall and then you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just going to take my feet slightly away so that I'm not stood straight and at an angle. So I'm just increasing that angle where my arm is then locked in. And we're just going to start with some reaches overhead. So what I'm looking to create here is some length in this side. A bit like if you were in a giant hamster wheel. Do this for an external cue. If you're in a giant hamster wheel, you're going to try and mold yourself to that side by making a circular shape with your body. So you're pushing those hips out and reaching across and then pulling that arm back in to come back to how you were. I hope that made sense. So let's just move through that nice and slowly, reaching overhead, pushing those hips out. You don't have to have your feet really close together. If it feels more comfortable, you can separate them a little bit. That's completely up to you. I quite liked having mine together, so I'm going to go back with that. So you're pressing yourself into that circle shape and keeping this arm nice and long. And if the hand's on the wall again, just keeping that nice and long. A nice one to start. Quite an intense little stretch. Start us off. We have got some half kneeling up. If you are somebody who hates doing a kneeling position, then this is the modification that you can use, either hand supported on a chair or hand supported on a wall. So we're just going to change this one up. We're going to reach over, same thing, but then we're going to take that hand and open that up on a diagonal with that other arm and just reach it out the back. I'm going to try and keep this arm anchored in place. So I'm opening up around the shoulder sockets and the upper back, and I'm going to move between the two. Stretch overhead and then open out into the back. You can take your gaze with it if that feels good, or you can keep looking at me. Whatever feels good. I'm going to take my eyes with mine. We are going to repeat all of this on the other side as well. Again, just a reminder to you, as always, that you can have a rest whenever you need one, grab a drink whenever you need one, do movements in a range that feels good for you. Lovely, we'll have one more of these and then we'll swap sides. So for you that might be just turning yourself around, but for me that means bringing the chair all the way over here so that you don't have to stare at the back of me. So same again, so just taking those feet away from the thing that you are leaning on, reaching overhead, this time length here, getting it into that sort of, trying for that circular shape, and just staying here to begin with. Arm touching the surface is nice and long. And just breathing nice and continuously, not holding that in. Little tip of the head to achieve that little circle shape, like you're pressing yourself into that wheel, like you're in a tube. Called the tube. Now open that up, round the back, and move between the two, as fast or as slow as you like. Pushing those hips away. I bet you're all being brilliant inner tubes, even though I can't see. I can just imagine it. One more. Awesome. I'm just going to move my chair out of the way again. Grab a little drink if you need one. Move you here out of the way. So first of all, we're just going to stand. Nice comfortable standing position, however feels good. I'm just going to go for some across body reaches, both sides. So rotating, rotating straight across. So hand reaching to each wall. And this is where I want that lengthening to happen. Straight across, back of the shoulder. Spine's getting a nice rotation through. Awesome. And we'll go for our first half kneeling position. Like I said, you can do that on the wall. So this, if you're not getting down on the floor today, you are same with the chair. I've got my chair away now, but just creating a bit of a lever with feet moving away, and you can just pop one leg out just to recreate what we're doing with the half kneel, and then this is your position, and then everything will be, we don't even have to lean against the wall, and we'll do that at the end. You can just have one leg out in this position and do the same arms that we're doing. But if you are getting down on the floor, one knee hits the floor, the other leg goes out nice and straight, in just a straight line from that knee. And then if you like to have a little adductor stretch in the thigh, you can just bring the pelvis down, and that should give you that stretch there. Only if you enjoy that though, don't do it if you hate it. And we are just going to get that big beach ball, and we're just going to lift that up overhead and then bring it down again. Taking it right over, like you were going to pass it overhead to somebody directly behind you. Tilt the head. Keep those arms fixed. Feel that chest lifting up towards the ceiling as you take that big ball overhead. 2 more. And then we'll swap legs. Don't want to stay down here for too long because I know knees can get uncomfortable. If your knee does feel a bit crunchy on the floor, you can roll up a blanket, put cushions there. Should have said this before. I say it every time. Or an exercise mat rolled up under the knee can also work. But if you absolutely hate it, then just do the standing version of this instead. The other side again, if you like that adductor stretch, just bring those hips down and get that little stretch there as we're doing. Just a little bit of extra bang for your buck while you're in this position. Nothing to do with the core, but I just like it. Taking that overhead. A lot of people say, what's the difference between doing this in different positions on the floor with the knees? We're just locking your lower body into different positions so that your upper body and your spine has to move differently around it. So it's just about different joint reactions. Awesome, we'll have 2 more and then we'll get up. Lovely stuff. Very carefully come to your feet. I'm just going to grab my water that I've conveniently left over here. We're going for a forward step. And again, another little ball analogy. You've got a little ball this time, maybe like a netball or a football, something like that. And it's over here on your left-hand side. And you're going to take a step forward with your right foot and you're going to throw it over there. Straight over, opposite shoulder. Not as fast, you don't have to really throw it like that. And then as you step back, your hands are going to come back and magically another ball is going to appear just here. Or you can keep hold of that ball, not throw it over the head, but just move it across the shoulder and back. So we're just doing right leg, step forward, arms across the shoulder, like so. And again, that step can be as big and lungy as you like, or it can be just a little step forward, so you control that intensity. Take whatever step feels good. So the more knee bend, the more lungy it will be. Again, what I would like to see is in this position, that little hold of 1, 2, before stepping back. So slowing things down and then returning. Awesome. And now we are going to change the direction of that step. So my right leg is going to come forward and across the body in a diagonal. Arms are going to stay exactly the same. Same thing applies to the legs. The more you bend those knees, the more intense that's going to feel. So you can just step across, or you can make it more of that curtsy lunge that you keep doing in the gym. And again, going for that little 1, 2 in that position. We'll have a rest in a second before we swap sides. Arms might be feeling it already. Also, one more. Just relax those arms. We're going to do the same on the other side. So, little ball's going to be here. Left leg's going to step forward, and it's going to come across to the opposite shoulder. Let's have about 10-15 seconds more rest. We'll get ourselves ready to go. So same thing, we're going to change that step halfway through, taking that across to the other side, holding it for a second or two. Now, if any of you have started to hold your breath, get that into a continuous pattern again. I usually get some messages after saying, I was holding my breath. Thanks for telling me not to. Like sometimes it's just like if you're concentrating, just don't breathe for a minute. Lovely, one more. Let's take that step across the front of the body. My legs are a bit wobbly on this side, not as skilled with the left stepping over. What I can do is I can just reduce that range a little bit, help myself out. Awesome, keep them coming, a couple more, and then we'll go back down on the floor. Last one. Awesome, rest those arms, have a little drink. We're going to go back down, or you can stay standing. But if you are getting down on the floor, let's set ourselves up. One knee's going to hit the floor, other leg nice and straight. That ball that we had, the big one, we're getting that back in play. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to roll it around both ways. So really pretend that that ball is there, because if you were to roll it, it would be quite awkward. You'd have to move all the way around. And what I want is that little lean back, showing you from the side, rolling that round so that you have to transfer some weight. That back leg will stop you from tipping over. That's what we're going to go with. We're going to roll that alternate ways. Let's go for about 6 altogether, and then we'll switch legs and do 6 more. And then we'll get ourselves up again. So if you want to do slightly less, I'll just put my ball back down for a second. If you want to do slightly less, just slow them down and take a little rest in between. You don't have to do 6 altogether. You could go 4 or whatever suits you. So rolling that round and then back the other way. If you did have a yoga ball at home, you wouldn't have to pretend to hold a ball, you could actually hold one. Awesome. Was that 6? I think it was. I can't count. It seemed like 6. And I'm sure I went 3 each way, which would be 6. Same again, swap those legs over. Repeat. Lovely, 2 more. Now you might have felt a few crunchiness bits going on there. I definitely did have my own percussion going on someplace in my back, but really normal. Normal for joints to make noises and feel a bit crunchy, so try not to worry about that too much. Unless, of course, it's uncomfortable, then just reduce that range. We are now going to do something quite similar with our step. So we are going to have that little ball. Let me just demo, so just chill for a sec. We're going to take it over, and we do the same thing. We're going to roll it around the back of the head and bring it back down to the opposite side, so that then we can change legs. My left leg can step out, I can take it across, roll it around the back of my head, and bring it down to opposite. So we're able to alternate with these ones. And I'm just going to show you from the side. So when I chop that ball, I am going to act like I'm passing a ball round the back of my head so that I get that little leaning back. That's what I want to see. So like it's actually going behind your head, you lean back slightly, you're going to get bend in the lower back, nice rolling rotations. That's what we're going for. So let's do it again. We'll go for about 6 altogether. And then we've got one more thing on the floor, which I know some of you have a love-hate relationship, but we're going to go with it anyway. So little ball, football, netball, something similar size. Take it over the shoulder with the opposite leg stepping. Roll it around the back of the head to this side, and then bring it over here. So now it's on my right, and I'm going to step my left leg forward, roll it round, and bring it back down to the opposite side. So it's traveling to the opposite leg by rolling around the back of the head. I think that's 4, maybe 3. We'll do 3 more. Lovely. Okay, we'll leave that one there. It's quite a nice one. I quite like that. I'll probably repeat that pattern at some other point. So we are going to go with tipping triangle. So this is where if you want to do it standing, stay with either your chair or the wall, and your position is going to be one leg straight underneath, the other one just out, having a nice time. This is your position to work from. So all we're going with is some rotations like that, or you can do them on the chair. There is another modification. Let me just show you the move first of all. So we're going to be in that half kneel. We're going to take one hand down to the floor and then reach the other one over here. And then we're going to do some thread the needle. So we're going to thread it under and out in this position. So if you didn't want to do the wall and you wanted to have a go at being on the floor, you could tip just to your chair. So that's the way just to reduce that intensity a little bit. is have hand on chair instead, and then we can do our thread the needle from here. So hopefully you've picked your option. Let's start off. So we're just going to tip ourselves to the ground, bring that arm over, nice length in that side, and now we're going to go for 5, taking it through the arm and opening it out here. That's 1. Hook it right under, as far as you can. Even if you have to curl in on yourself, get that hand as far through as you can. Lovely. 1 more. Perfect. Bring yourself up and we'll go other side. Change positions. Bring that hand to the ground or to a surface. Nice big reach to start off with. Get length down that side. And now 5. Thread it through the arm. Reach really far in both directions. Really curling on yourself here. Lovely. 1 more. Awesome. Very carefully bring yourself up, don't give yourself a head rush. We are all done. Wonderful. That felt really good. I hope you enjoyed it too. And I'll see you all after I get back from the holidays. Have a good one, everyone. Speak to you soon. Bye. It's totally worth being on the floor. I'm glad you feel that way. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.